Chapter 2790. The competition has ended. Anon. R-A-N-E-N-A-C-O-M. After this battle, the prestige of the Paragon Saints faction naturally rose to a whole new level. No one could compare to them. The other saints and saintesses looked solemn. If this continued, the Paragon Saint would become the next sect leader. I must obtain that item. That way, I'll be able to contend against the Paragon Saint. The Tianhong Saint clenched his fists. All right, I hereby announce the end of the sect tournament. The Kongxian School's sect leader Long Zushan's voice reverberated throughout the area. He paused for a moment before continuing. However, I have another big announcement to make today. There's another big announcement. Many people were taken aback and revealed curious expressions. Most of the inner elders were also curious. Obviously, they did not know what Long Zushan was going to announce. Today, I am going to confer a new saint. Long Zushan's voice rang out. What? A new holy son? The saint is going to be conferred. This is a big deal. But there hasn't been anyone suitable recently. That's right. The only suitable candidate is the second-in-command of the Paragon Saints faction. Is he going to be independent? Long Zushan's words caused an uproar in the crowd. Everyone was guessing who the new saint would be. It was not easy to be promoted to a saint. First, one's cultivation had to be at the heavenly god realm. Moreover, the divine force that one could control had to be at least of the divine grade. Only by meeting these two conditions would one be qualified. Now, there was only one person who met these two conditions. That person was the second-in-command of the Paragon Saints faction. This person was also a peerless genius. Back then, he had the chance to be conferred the title of saint. However, he gave up the title and sided with the Paragon Saint. This had caused a huge uproar back then. At the scene, the 7 saints and saintesses narrowed their eyes and frowned. There was going to be an 8th saint. The conferment of a saint was a big deal. It meant that they would be more competitive. Moreover, every new saint would have a huge impact on the current situation. Everyone was guessing who the Holy Son of Dragon Mountain would be. However, they were not confident. Then, everyone looked at Long Zushan, waiting for his answer. Long Zushan stood high up in the air, his eyes scanned the surroundings and finally landed on Lu Ming. He shouted, "The Holy Prince that I want to confer the title of Holy Prince is him, Lu Ming." Long Zushan pointed at Lu Ming. Everyone's eyes turned to Lu Ming. Then, the scene fell into a dead silence. Lu Ming was also dumbfounded. Never in his wildest dreams would he have thought that the new Holy Son of Dragon Mountain would be him. Originally, he was just like everyone else, curious to know who this newly conferred Holy Son was. He didn't expect it to be him. For a moment, he couldn't wrap his head around it. Lu Ming, this is the mission I'm giving you. You must accept the position of Holy Son. Lu Ming heard the voice of Long Zushan. What the hell is this old man doing? Lu Ming finally calmed down, his mind racing. He didn't think that Long Zushan had good intentions. This old man had cast the nether dragon blood curse in his body. He definitely didn't have good intentions. Lu Ming, you've become a holy son. Awesome. Awesome, brother. Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng were also dumbfounded. They couldn't come to their senses for a long time. It's him. The holy son that the sect master wants to confer is him? Everyone stared at Lu Ming, dumbfounded. The point is, who is he? That's right. I've never seen him before. Many people exclaimed. After all, Lu Ming had only joined the Kongxian School for a few decades. Many people had been in seclusion for hundreds or thousands of years. Most people had never seen Lu Ming before. It's him. I know him. He just joined the school a few decades ago. What? He was conferred the Holy Son when he just joined the school a few decades ago? You must be kidding. Sure, lower your voice. Be careful not to let the sect master hear you. But this lad, how is he qualified to be a holy son? There was an uproar at the scene. Lu Ming, who had just joined the school a few decades ago, was actually conferred the title of Holy Son. What was going on? It's this lad, the Tianhong Holy Sun, fuck Siko, and the rest looked at Lu Ming like swords. Sect Master, I don't think this is appropriate. At this moment, an elder walked out and cupped his fists at Longshausen. What's wrong? Longshausen said lightly. Lu Ming has just joined the school a few decades ago. His current cultivation level has only broken through to the true God realm not long ago. No matter how you look at it, he's not qualified to be conferred the title of Holy Sun, the elder said. This elder was an inner sect elder and Ying Kang's master. He belonged to the Tenho Siko faction. Ying Kang, who was ranked 4th on the empty god list, had been secretly taken in as a disciple by this elder. Later on, he was killed by Lu Ming in the Netherdragon secret territory. Ying Kang had always hated Lu Ming. Since Longshausen wanted to confer the title of Holy Sun to Lu Ming, he naturally had to step out to oppose it. That's right, Sect Master. This must not be done. Following that, a few other inner sect elders stepped out to oppose it. Obviously, these inner sect elders belonged to the various factions of the Holy Sons and Holy Daughters. Are you doubting me? Longshausen said lightly, but there was a terrifying majesty in his voice. A few inner sect elders jumped in fright and hurriedly said, We're not doubting you, Sect Master. It's just that the conferment of a Holy Sun is a big matter. Sect Master, you must consider it carefully. That's right, Sect Master. The Holy Sons and Holy Daughters are all peerless geniuses. Not everyone is suitable and qualified. The Tianhong Holy Sun stepped out and bowed to Longshausen. Tianhong is right. To be a Holy Sun, one must first fulfill 2 conditions. First, one must possess holy divine power. Second, one must be a heavenly god. This Lu Ming is only a true god. How can he be qualified to be a Holy Sun? Sect Master, please retract your decision. Fuck Siko stepped out and cupped her fists. Longshausen furrowed his brows. The Kongxian school's Holy Sons and Holy Daughters had a higher status than the inner sect elders. The Holy Sons and Holy Daughters were all peerless geniuses. If there were no accidents, they would enter the God King realm in the future and become the overlord of a region. Their words carried more weight than the inner sect elders. Following that, the Holy Son of Ji Xia, the Holy Son of Yang Kong, and the Holy Daughter of Shuatan all spoke up to persuade Longshausen to retract his decision. Among the 7 Holy Sons and Holy Daughters, only 2 of them remained silent. One of them was the Paragon Holy Sun. He only looked at Lu Ming curiously. Light flashed in his eyes, but he did not say anything. As for Ouyang Qingxiang, she naturally would not say anything. She and Lu Ming were partners. If Lu Ming could become a Holy Sun, it would be of great help to her. She even hoped that Lu Ming would become a Holy Sun. Chapter 2791. Lu Ming watched quietly, not saying a word. He was pondering over Long Zishan's motive. Was Long Zishan trying to push him to the heart of the struggle, giving him pressure so that he could improve faster and do things for him? Lu Ming felt that this was the most likely reason. Are you all doubting this seat's foresight? Long Zishan said indifferently, his voice cold. Big Sky's Holy Sun, fuck Siko, and the rest did not say anything, but their expressions said it all. They objected. All right, since that's the case, this seat will give you all a chance. Long Zishan's gaze turned sharp as he said, all of you can send out true God realm experts to challenge Lu Ming. If any of you can defeat Lu Ming, this seat will retract my order and cancel the conferment. If no true God realm expert can defeat Lu Ming, then Lu Ming will become the new Holy Prince. Do you all have any objections? Long Zishan's words shocked many people. All of the true God realm experts from the various factions could challenge Lu Ming. If they won, Lu Ming would not be able to become the Holy Prince. What is this Lu Ming's cultivation? Someone quickly asked. I saw it. He's a 3rd stage true God realm expert. Someone spoke. Those with higher cultivation than Lu Ming could see Lu Ming's cultivation with a single glance. What, a 3rd stage true God realm expert? His cultivation is so low, any true God realm expert can defeat him. Yeah, strange. Why did the sect leader raise such a condition? This Lu Ming definitely won't be able to win. Strange, strange. Many people were puzzled. Long Jushan seemed to want to confer the title of Holy Prince to Lu Ming, but raising such a condition meant that he didn't want Lu Ming to be the Holy Prince. No one thought that a third-stage True God Realm expert could defeat the True God Realm experts from the 7 factions. What a joke! A third-stage True God Realm expert was just a low-level True God Realm expert. How could he compete with the mid-level and high-level True Gods? Especially the experts from the 7 factions. Those existences could pinch Lu Ming to death with one finger. There was no comparison at all. The Big Sky's holy son, Fuxiko, and the others' eyes lit up. Although they knew that Lu Ming's combat power was strong, there was a limit to his combat power. It was impossible for him to be a match for those high-level real gods. In their eyes, Long Jushan was giving them a way out. Zushan's suggestion. Me too. The Great Sky Hong Saint Sun and the Floating Light Saint Sun immediately expressed their stance. Following that, the other saints and saintesses agreed one after another. Longshaushen's gaze landed on Lu Ming. Lu Ming said loudly. Since it had come to this point, it was obvious that Long Jushan wanted him to accept the Holy Sun's position. Lu Ming wasn't someone who was afraid of trouble. Nestle, this guy really dares to accept the challenge. He's not afraid of death. Even if he doesn't die, he'll be tortured. There's a good show to watch. Many people sneered, waiting to watch a good show. Lu Ming, do your best. I hope you can be promoted to the Holy Sun position. Yu Linglong waved her fist and cheered for Lu Ming. Brother Lu, you can do it. Wu Zifeng also patted Lu Ming's shoulder. Previously, they had seen Lu Ming suppress Ouyang Qingxiang's 2 subordinates. His combat power was extremely strong. If Lu Ming were to strike, he might have a chance of winning. Sect leader, can we fight to the death? The Big Sky's holy son asked, his eyes filled with cold killing intent. Since you want to fight, let's fight to the death, Long Jushan said. Regardless of life or death, it meant that they could kill. This kid is finish. Many people showed pity, thinking that Lu Ming was dead meat. I'll fight with this kid. A voice sounded. A young man from Fuxiko's faction stepped down and landed on the fighting stage. It's Huang Wen. Huang Wen is going to fight. Someone shouted. That's right. That person was Huang Wen. Huang Wen is at the 8th level True God realm. Dealing with a mere 3rd level True God, the moment they take action, it's an 8th level True God. This is making a mountain out of a molehill. He's making a mountain out of a molehill. However, I heard that Huang Wen has a grudge against Lu Ming. That's why he's fighting. I see. He's going to seize the opportunity to kill Lu Ming. Many people discussed. Brother, kill him. Kill him for me. Ha ha ha. Huang Wu, who was in the crowd, roared in his heart. He could already see the scene of Huang Wen killing Lu Ming. Boom. Huang Wen landed on the fighting stage and exuded a powerful aura that pressed down on Lu Ming. Kid, how do you want to die? Say it. Huang Wen's cold voice sounded. He was confident in himself. He was also a genius and his cultivation had reached level 8 True God. Dealing with a level 3 True God was a piece of cake. Unfortunately, he didn't know that 2 geniuses from Fuxiko's faction had already died in Lu Ming's hands. He also didn't know that Le Zhong had also died in Lu Ming's hands. They only knew that Lu Ming had gone out and returned safely. They didn't know that those geniuses had already been killed by Lu Ming. They only thought that those geniuses couldn't find Lu Ming. If Huang Wen knew that those geniuses had already been killed by Lu Ming, he wouldn't be so confident. You talk too much nonsense. Make your move. I'll give you the last chance. Lu Ming said indifferently, boasting shamelessly. Surging wave fist. Huang Wen shouted coldly and threw a punch at Lu Ming. Rumbling sounds came from the sky when the punch was thrown. It was like 10,000 layers of giant waves that surged toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's face was calm. He condensed a long spear with divine force in his palm. 5 divine flames burned fiercely and boundless divine force gathered in the long spear. He swept the spear out. Rumble. A huge spear intent was fired into the sky, colliding with Huang Wen's 10,000 layered fists, resulting in a shocking explosion. Then, Huang Wen's fist force trembled and was crushed by the spear light. Huang Wen's face changed drastically and he retreated to the edge of the fighting stage before stopping. This, many people were dumbfounded as if they had seen a ghost. This situation was completely different from what they had expected. They expected Huang Wen to crush Lu Ming, but they didn't expect Lu Ming to push Huang Wen back with a single spear. How could a level 3 true god be so strong? Damn it! Huang Wen roared in his heart and his face turned gloomy. Lu Ming's combat strength had also exceeded his expectations. That's all you've got. If you have any divine skills that you haven't used, use them quickly. This is your last chance, Lu Ming said indifferently with a look of disdain. You're courting death. I'll let you see my true strength. Surging wave sword art. Huang Wen roared and took out a battle sword. He exploded with all his strength and charged toward Lu Ming. With a slash, 10,000 layers of sword waves appeared in the void and surged toward Lu Ming. This was Huang Wen's trump card and it was extremely powerful. If he used it with his strength, an ordinary level 9 true god would be killed by him. Chapter 2792. Third Strike of Annihilation, Sky Pisser. Lu Ming doubled his combat strength and used the first move of the Third Strike of Annihilation, Sky Pisser. A dazzling spear radiance shot up to the sky. Bang! 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 The 10,000 saber waves that Huang Wen sent out crumbled one after another. Finally, the spear radiance rushed past Huang Wen and clashed with him. In the next moment, all the energy fluctuations disappeared. The long spear in Lu Ming's hand also disappeared. Lu Ming landed on the fighting stage expressionlessly. As for Huang Wen, his eyes were wide open and his face was filled with disbelief. There was a bloody hole in between his eyebrows. The light in his eyes quickly disappeared, and so did his life aura. Plop! Huang Wen fell on the fighting stage, no longer showing any signs of life. Huang Wen was dead. Most of the people at the scene were dumbfounded. Huang Wen was killed by Lu Ming. This was out of everyone's expectations. A 3rd level true god had killed an 8th level true god genius. This was too exaggerated. Demon. It turns out that Lu Ming is a demon. He's too abnormal. No wonder the sect master conferred him the title of Holy Son. His combat strength is so terrifying. Many people mumbled to themselves. They finally knew why Dragon Jushan had conferred Lu Ming the title of Holy Son. Lu Ming was a freak. Without a doubt, the divine power that he controlled was definitely above the sacred grade. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to be so powerful. When he became a heaven god and the son of saint, it would be a sure thing. Damn it. Fuck Siko's eyes were cold. Huang Wen's death meant that he had lost one of his generals. Big brother, Huang Wu screamed in the crowd. His face was as pale as snow, and his face was filled with fear. When he was in the Kongxian school's outer area, he could get whatever he wanted because of his big brother, Huang Wen. Now that Huang Wen was dead, who could he rely on in the future? He knew that he would have a hard time in the future. Clean up the fighting stage. Dragon Jushan ordered. Immediately, someone went down and took away Huang Wen's body. Who else wants to fight? Lu Ming looked at the people of the 7 factions. Mo Ying, go and kill him. The Tianhong saint instructed a youth behind him. This brat won't live. Lung Ku, a black-robed youth behind the Tianhong divine son, stepped down and landed on the fighting ring. It's him, Demon Shadow. The Tianhong saint sent this person directly. Looks like he's determined to win. Many people were slightly surprised. In the sect competition previously, Mo Ying had displayed shocking power. Although he was not as good as the top experts on the Real God ranking list, he was not too far off. Mo Ying's cultivation was level 9 true god. Brat, your strength is indeed strong. Being able to kill Huang Wen at the 3rd level of true god realm has indeed surprised me. However, your life ends here. Mo Ying said coldly. Huang Wen said the same thing before, and then he died. Lu Ming simply retorted, causing Demon Shadow's complexion to sink. Don't compare me with that trash. Kill. Mo Ying shouted and charged toward Lu Ming. However, when he was halfway there, he suddenly disappeared. Speed-type divine skill. No, this is a secret skill. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. A long spear appeared in his hand and swept in all directions. The spear radiance crushed through, but did not find any trace of Mo Ying. Swoosh! Suddenly, a sharp whistling sound came from behind Lu Ming. Mo Ying had launched an attack on him. Unknowingly, Mo Ying had already arrived behind Lu Ming. Get lost! Lu Ming shouted, and his divine power gushed out like waves. With a wave of his hand, dozens of spear radiances pierced in all directions. Dang! In one of the directions, an explosion rang out, and a figure was sent flying. Hee, it's useless. Die! Mo Ying's figure flickered continuously. In an instant, hundreds of figures appeared on the fighting ring and circled around Lu Ming. From time to time, a figure rushed toward Lu Ming, but they were all repelled by Lu Ming. You don't seem to be able to defeat me. Lu Ming sneered. Is that so? Suddenly, the hundreds of figures stopped at the same time and gathered into one. My arrangement is complete. Lu Ming, go to hell. Demon God Ghost Curse. Mo Ying shouted coldly. His body emitted a thick black aura. His hands were constantly forming seals. In the next moment, a burst of energy suddenly erupted from Lu Ming's body. This energy was extremely evil. No one knew when it had rushed into Lu Ming's body. Now that it had erupted, it formed many black and ferocious ghosts. They roared in Lu Ming's body, wanting to devour Lu Ming's flesh and blood. Mo Ying has planted a demon god ghost curse. This kid is dead for sure. The Tianhong saint sneered. Fuck Siko, the Jixia saint, and the others watched coldly. Lu Ming, Yu Linglong and Wu Zifeng couldn't help but worry. Ha ha ha, Lu Ming, go to hell. Mo Ying laughed maniacally. Almost no one in the true god realm could break the demon god ghost curse that he had planted. Even the experts on the true god ranking wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Was it planted when we clashed? Lu Ming muttered. Previously, Lu Ming had continuously clashed with the demon god. Every time they clashed, Lu Ming felt a weak energy rush into his body. Because that energy wasn't strong, Lu Ming didn't pay much attention to it. Now that he thought about it, it must have been some demon god ghost curse. This demon god ghost curse was similar to the nether dragon blood curse in the Dragon Mountain. However, its power was worlds apart. Sovereign. With a thought, Lu Ming unleashed his sovereign divine power and enveloped the demon god ghost curse. Sizzle, after being enveloped by the sovereign divine power, the demon god ghost shadows were like ice in front of fire. They immediately sizzled and quickly dissipated. How is this possible? How can you break my demon god ghost curse? Mo Ying suddenly yelled in disbelief. You're embarrassing yourself with such petty tricks. Lu Ming said indifferently. His body flickered as he executed the Nine Heavens rock art and charged at Mo Ying. Even if you break my demon god ghost curse, you can't kill me. Mo Ying roared, his eyes filled with malevolence. He turned into shadows and filled the fighting stage. Is that so? Lu Ming's figure suddenly landed on the fighting ring. A gust of extremely cold divine power spread out from his feet. In an instant, it covered the entire fighting ring and sealed it in ice. In an instant, the fighting stage turned into a world of ice. Mo Ying's body stiffened. His feet were sealed in ice. The hundreds of shadows on the fighting stage also disappeared. This is absolute frost divine power. How did this kid cultivate absolute frost divine power? Has he already cultivated the absolute frost divine art to its peak? But he only joined the sect a few decades ago. Many of the inner elders were shocked. The divine power that Lu Ming used earlier wasn't absolute frost divine power. Could it be that Lu Ming cultivated some kind of secret technique that concealed the divine power's attribute? Even so, how could Lu Ming cultivate absolute frost divine power in just a few decades? Chapter 2793. Could it be? Many people looked at Longshausen and wondered what was the relationship between Lu Ming and Longshausen. Could it be that Longshausen had already taught Lu Ming the Frost Divine Art? Otherwise, they wouldn't believe that Lu Ming could reach the peak of the Frost Divine Art in just a few decades. There were also people in Kongshen School who had reached the peak of the Frost Divine Art and successfully cultivated the Frost Divine Power. However, it required great talent and a long time. What they didn't know was that Longshausen was also shocked. This brat can actually control the Frost Divine Power. Longshausen was shocked. He knew that Lu Ming controlled the divine power of the sovereign realm. Now, he could actually use the Frost Divine Power. Great. The stronger this brat is, the more likely it is to succeed. Longshausen's eyes lit up. On the battle stage, Mo Ying was terrified. He tried his best to break free from the ice that had sealed him. However, Lu Ming wouldn't give him such a chance. Lu Ming moved and appeared in front of the demonic shadow. His cold gaze made the demonic shadow shudder and break out in a cold sweat. I admit defeat. I admit defeat. Mo Ying shouted crazily. Did I allow you to admit defeat? Lu Ming said indifferently. He stabbed out with his spear and killed Mo Ying. Sigh sigh sigh, many people gasped in shock. Mo Ying was dead. Huang Wen couldn't compare to Mo Ying. He was very strong and it was obvious in the sect competition. However, he was still killed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's strength was shocking. Lu Ming, you are courting death. At this moment, the great Hong Saint was furious. He released a terrifying aura towards Lu Ming. He didn't hide his cold killing intent. Great Hong, what are you trying to do? Ouyang Qingxiang also released her aura and blocked the great Hong Saint's aura. What am I trying to do? Didn't you see that Mo Ying had already admitted defeat? He already admitted defeat, but this brat still killed him. How audacious. I'll kill him right now. The heavenly Hong Saint said angrily. Haha, what a joke. Before the battle started, they only said that regardless of life and death, they didn't say that they couldn't kill if they admitted defeat. Lu Ming said indifferently. You, quibble. The Tian Hong Saint was enraged, and a terrifying killing intent erupted from his body. However, Lu Ming was right. Before the battle started, he had indeed only said that regardless of life or death, but he did not say that he could not kill as long as he admitted defeat. Done. At this moment, Longshausen waved his sleeves and said, just now, I didn't say that you can't kill if you admit defeat. Now I'll say it. In the following battles, as long as you admit defeat, you must stop. Upon seeing that Longshausen had spoken, the great Sky Sage Sun was also helpless. He could only glare icily at Lu Ming. The murderous intent in his eyes intensified. Saint, let me kill this brat. Another youth stepped out from behind the Tianhong Saint. Seeing this youth, the great Sky Sage Sun nodded and said, all right, let's end this quickly. Don't give that brat a chance to admit defeat. Clearly, the great Sky Sage Sun was very confident in this youth. Don't worry, Saint. He won't have a chance to admit defeat. The youth said coldly. In a flash, he landed on the fighting ring. Shueyu, it's Shueyu. When the youth landed on the fighting ring, many people were shocked. This was because Shueyu was an expert on the True God ranking board. He was one of the 8 experts from the Kongshen School who were ranked on the True God ranking board. He was also the strongest True God realm expert under the Tenho Siko faction. Lu Ming is going to battle with Shueyu. I wonder who will win. If Lu Ming can defeat Shueyu, it will be a miracle for him to be ranked on the True God ranking board as a level 3 True God. That's right. Shueyu is ranked 87th on the True God ranking board, but his combat strength is not something that Mo Ying can compare to. Many people were looking forward to this battle. Many of them were already guessing the outcome of this battle. An expert on the True God ranking board? Come on. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with a strong desire to battle. Although he had seen the battle between the experts on the True God ranking board, watching and fighting were two different things. Swoosh. Suddenly, Shueyu moved. However, he did not charge toward Lu Ming. Instead, he soared into the sky. In mid-air, Shueyu's body emitted a crimson light. Shui barrier, Shui roared. With a push of his hands, a layer of crimson light shrouded the entire fighting ring. Shui barrier was a secret skill that Shui had cultivated. It was extremely powerful. As soon as he attacked, he used his unique skill and did not give Lu Ming a chance to fight back. Kill! Shui shouted. In the Shui barrier, boundless crimson sword light suddenly appeared and slashed toward Lu Ming. What can a barrier do to me? Kill! Lu Ming roared and activated the 9-layered crimson gold armor. He performed the 9 heavens rock technique and soared into the sky. Streaks of spear light burst out from his hands. Boom! 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 The spear light and crimson sword light collided with each other constantly, erupting into earth-shattering roars. Why is my divine power being depleted so severely? Suddenly, Lu Ming frowned. He could feel his divine power depleting rapidly. He was using the same move, but his divine power was depleting at a much faster rate than before. Ha ha ha, do you feel that your divine power is being depleted rapidly? Under the suppression of my barrier, your divine power will be depleted in a few moves and you will be at my mercy. Shui laughed complacently. Then, more crimson sword light appeared and attacked Lu Ming. Is that so? Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. Want to deplete his divine power? You must be kidding. If it were others who were trapped in the Shui barrier, they would be doomed. Their divine power would be depleted quickly. However, Lu Ming had the quantifying character formula. Boom! Divine power constantly emerged from the quantifying character formula. Lu Ming's divine power was always at its peak. Third strike of extinction, moon slashing. Lu Ming used the second move of the third strike of extinction. The long spear slashed down, and a crescent-shaped spear light violently slashed out. Countless crimson sword lights were directly extinguished. The terrifying crescent-shaped spear light slashed toward Shui. Shui's face changed. His figure flashed and appeared on the other side of the battle stage, avoiding Lu Ming's attack. In the Shui barrier, his speed was extremely fast. Such a strong attack, I want to see how many moves you can make. Shui snorted coldly. Is that so? Let me break your barrier first. Lu Ming's figure soared into the sky and blasted toward the barrier. Blood God Python, kill, Shui yelled. Many blood-red pythons appeared in the boundary. There were more than a dozen of them. Each of them was a few hundred meters long and they charged toward Lu Ming. Moon slashing. Lu Ming continued to use the moon slashing technique and destroyed a blood-colored python with one move. However, there were more than 10 blood-colored pythons. Ha ha ha, your divine power will be depleted soon. Shui laughed. Lu Ming was too lazy to pay attention to Shui and continued to attack. Chapter 2794. Lu Ming continued to attack. Moon slash, moon slash, moon slash. Lu Ming continued to use moon slash. One after another, the blood-colored pythons were destroyed. Soon, more than a dozen blood-colored pythons disappeared. At this moment, the complacent look on Shui's face had completely disappeared. It was replaced by horror, confusion, and disbelief. How is this possible? How can his divine power not be exhausted? Shui muttered to himself. Lu Ming's attack was shockingly powerful. It was definitely a trump card. This kind of move generally consumed a lot of divine power. Even outside, Lu Ming couldn't use it continuously. Not to mention, in his blood rain barrier, he was suppressed by the barrier. The consumption of divine power was several times faster than outside. Logically speaking, Lu Ming's divine power should be exhausted. But why was Lu Ming still so lively? Shui was dumbfounded. Boom! Lu Ming broke through the encirclement of the blood-colored pythons and finally bombarded the blood rain barrier. The blood rain barrier shook violently, but it wasn't blasted open. I don't believe it. Come again. Lu Ming continued to attack, and the long spear kept bombarding. Boom! Boom! The blood rain barrier kept shaking as if it was going to be broken at any time. But every time, it barely blocked it. Ha ha ha, Lu Ming, given your cultivation level, you won't be able to break my enchantment. Just take a beating. I don't believe that your divine power is endless. Even if I have to exhaust it, I will exhaust you to death. Seeing that Lu Ming didn't break the blood rain barrier, Xueyu laughed and finally felt relieved. As long as Lu Ming couldn't break the blood rain barrier, Lu Ming would be exhausted to death sooner or later. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In the blood rain barrier, more blood-colored sword lights and blood-colored pythons appeared and rushed toward Lu Ming. Just a little bit more, then. Quadruple combat power. Lu Ming's eyes flashed, and he began to activate his quadruple combat power. At the same time, he swept his spear to block the attacks of the blood-colored swordlights and the blood-colored pythons. Lu Ming is in a passive position. That's right. However, his strength is truly frightening. Even after being trapped in the blood rain barrier for so long, he still possesses such battle prowess. Truly terrifying. Indeed, Xueyu is not his opponent in a head-on collision. What a monster. Unfortunately, his attack power is not enough to break the Xueyu enchantment. In the end, he will lose to Xueyu. It is indeed a pity. Within the blood rain barrier, as long as the blood rain barrier could not be broken, the blood rain barrier would be able to take the initiative and be in an invincible position. Many people believed that since Lu Ming couldn't break the blood rain enchantment, his defeat was inevitable. Kill, kill, kill. Xueyu's body was constantly bursting with blood-red divine power, raising the power of the blood rain barrier to its peak. Countless blood-red sword lights and blood-colored pythons rushed towards Lu Ming. At this moment, a low roar came from Lu Ming's body. His battle intent suddenly rose by a notch. Battle character secret art, quadruple combat power was successfully triggered. Moon slaying. Lu Ming let out a long howl and cast the moon slashing technique once again. However, the power this time was much stronger than before. Peng, peng, peng. A crescent-shaped attack burst out. Wherever it passed, all the blood-colored sword lights and blood-colored pythons were destroyed. Break for me. After Lu Ming destroyed the blood-colored sword lights and blood-colored pythons, his spear swept out again. This time, it was directly aimed at the blood rain barrier. Boom! A violent explosion sounded. Then, the blood rain barrier was directly penetrated and split into two halves. How is this possible? Xueyu roared in shock. It was simply unbelievable. Lu Ming obviously couldn't break the blood rain barrier before. How could he break it in the blink of an eye? Could it be that Lu Ming was still hiding his strength before? Not good. Retreat, retreat. Xueyu reacted and frantically retreated. However, how could Lu Ming let him retreat? He displayed the Nine Heavens Garuda technique. In a flash, he quickly chased after Xueyu. Then, another moon-slaying attack was launched. The blood rain barrier collapsed. Without the barrier, Xueyu's speed was reduced by many times. He couldn't be compared to Lu Ming at all. Xueyu couldn't avoid Lu Ming's attack and could only erupt with all his strength to resist. A blood-red armor appeared on his body, covering his whole body. Then, a battle sword appeared in his hands and he slashed out. Clang! Lu Ming's attack fell on Xueyu's battle sword. Xueyu's battle sword vibrated crazily and finally exploded with a bang. This was a mid-grade divine weapon, and it was directly shattered by Lu Ming. Xueyu's figure retreated rapidly, vomiting blood. He was severely injured. I admit defeat. Just as Lu Ming was about to launch another attack to kill Xueyu, Xueyu hurriedly shouted. He felt that he definitely couldn't block Lu Ming's next move. Once the next move was launched, he would fall. If he didn't admit defeat now, when would he? Since Xueyu admitted defeat, Lu Ming could only stop. Xueyu hurriedly retreated from the battle stage, vomiting blood continuously. A deep wound appeared on his chest. Even his armor was cracked, and the wound was so deep that his bones could be seen. This was all because of Lu Ming's move just now. Xueyu lost. Heavens, a third-level true god actually defeated an expert on the true god list. This is too heaven-defying. Many people sucked in a breath of cold air, shocked to the extreme. Chapter 2795. The Supreme Holy Sun's voice made many people's hearts beat wildly. Huran. When? The Supreme Holy Sun was going to send someone out, and it was Long Xian. Long Xian was the #1 True God Realm expert under the Supreme Holy Sun. He was also the #1 True God Realm expert in Kongxian School and ranked 6th on the True God list. The Supreme Holy Sun was going to send Long Xian out. The eyes of the heavenly Hong Saint, Fuxiko, and the rest lit up. Yes, Holy Sun. Behind the Supreme Holy Sun, a skinny young man in a black robe nodded and appeared on the fighting ring in a flash. Long Xian is going to make a move. There will be a good show. Many people were looking forward to it. They wanted to know if Long Xian could stop Lu Ming's winning streak. There was no doubt about Long Xian's strength. He was ranked 6th on the True God list and was definitely above Shui Yu. Shui Yu was only ranked 87th on the True God list. I'll give you some time to rest and recover. Long Xian looked at Lu Ming and said lightly. Even though Lu Ming had displayed shocking strength, he was still very confident in himself. No need. Let's fight now. Lu Ming said. Looks like you're very confident. If that's the case, don't say that I'm taking advantage of you. Be careful. Long Xian reminded. A pitch-black spear appeared in his hand. Long Xian's weapon was also a long spear. Bam! Long Xian stomped heavily on the ground. His body was like a stream of light as he dashed toward Lu Ming. A black spear gleam pierced toward Lu Ming like a shooting star. Third stroke of destruction, sky-piercing. Lu Ming also stabbed out with his spear. Boom! The two spear lights collided in the void and exploded with a deafening roar. Violent airflow spread out in all directions. At the same time, the two figures retreated. This collision was a draw. Sacred divine power. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. This Long Xian's divine power was at the saint grade. This person's cultivation had already reached the peak of the True God realm. He was only a step away from the Heavenly God realm. As long as he stepped into the Heavenly God realm, he would be qualified to become the next saint. There was no doubt about his battle prowess. If Lu Ming had not cultivated the Heaven and Earth 10,000 Dao technique and had 5 divine fires in his body, he would not have been able to fend off Long Xian given the huge difference in their cultivation levels. Otherwise, he would not have been able to fend off Long Xian. Even now, Lu Ming had activated the battle character art to quadruple his battle prowess, but they were still evenly matched. Amazing, truly amazing. A third stage True God actually has such battle prowess. This is the first time I've seen it. Again, Long Xian's eyes were filled with amazement, and he once again charged towards Lu Ming. This time, the power he used was even stronger. His attack divine skill has already reached the peak of the 5th level. Lu Ming's eyes were solemn. Long Xian's attack divine skill had already reached the peak of the 5th level, which was 1 level higher than Lu Ming's divine skill. Fortunately, Lu Ming had the battle character art, and any divine skill he used would be stronger. Otherwise, it would be difficult to fight against him. Third strike of extinction, moon slashing. Lu Ming held the spear with both hands and slashed down. A crescent-shaped spear light slashed towards Long Xian. Boom! The two of them clashed for the second time, but this time, it was still difficult to determine the winner. Amazing, again. Long Xian roared and continued to charge towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming also exerted his strength to the maximum. The divine power of 5 divine fires, the battle character art quadrupled his battle prowess, and his exceptionally strong divine body. He used every bit of his strength to fight against Long Xian. The two of them fought fiercely on the battle platform, and they exchanged hundreds of blows. Lu Ming did not use the ice chain because he knew that Long Xian also had a secret skill that he had not used. He had seen it during the sect grand competition. Whoosh! Suddenly, a black light shot out from Long Xian's body and charged towards Lu Ming at an alarming speed. It's coming. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. At this moment, he was highly focused. With a thought, the ice chain flew out and flew towards the black light. Ding! The ice chain collided with the black light, and there was a ding sound. But what made Lu Ming's face change was that the ice chain shattered during the collision. The ice chain could not block the black light at all. After the black light destroyed the ice chain, it continued to stab towards Lu Ming at an alarming speed. Lu Ming could clearly see that it was a scorpion tail. The tail of a scorpion had a black spike at the tip of the tail. It was black and shiny, and it was extremely terrifying. This was Long Xian's secret skill. Bang! The speed of the scorpion tail was too fast. In the next instant, it hit Lu Ming. Lu Ming's 9 layers of crimson gold armor shook violently. It could not block it and was penetrated. Lu Ming used the 9 Heavens Garuda technique and retreated rapidly. But he was still a step too late. He felt a sharp pain in his body. His shoulder was hit, and a small hole appeared. Blood flowed out. Flying all the way to the edge of the battle platform, Lu Ming's figure stopped. What a powerful secret skill! Lu Ming was secretly shocked. Long Xian's scorpion tail secret skill's attack power was really shocking. This was not because Lu Ming's ice chain was inferior to the other party, but because Lu Ming's cultivation was too weak now. The power of the secret skill would also become stronger as the cultivator's cultivation increased. If Lu Ming's cultivation reached the 9th level True God realm, the power of the ice chain would naturally be extremely shocking. Interesting. To be able to receive one of my moves and only be injured without being defeated, there aren't many in the True God realm. Again. Long Xian's voice sounded. Before his voice fell, his figure had already rushed toward Lu Ming. That scorpion tail on his body turned into a black lightning, piercing toward Lu Ming. Ice chain. Lu Ming's heart stirred. Several ice chains flew out at once. This time, Lu Ming used a total of 3 ice chains. 3 ice chains, like 3 silver snakes, flew towards the other. Ding, ding, ding. 3 consecutive collisions sounded. This time, Lu Ming finally blocked the other party's scorpion tail attack. He actually blocked it. That's the secret skill, Ice Chain. Someone recognized Lu Ming's secret skill. This kind of secret skill was available in the scripture depository. As long as one had points, anyone could exchange for it. 3rd level True God realm, the power of the Ice Chain is already so strong. This is already great success. An inner sect elder sighed. How did he cultivate? If one wants to cultivate the ice chain to great success, the cold moonstone is the best choice. Did he obtain several cold moonstones? How is that possible? Another inner sect elder was even more envious. This was because he had also cultivated the ice chain. However, after many years of cultivation, he still hadn't reached great success because he didn't have suitable materials. On the battle stage, the fierce battle between Lu Ming and Long Xian continued. The scorpion tail and the ice chain kept colliding. The long spears in their hands were also constantly clashing. However, they were still evenly matched. I didn't expect you to be so powerful to be able to force me to use my ultimate move. You're the first Kongshen school student. Long Xian's voice sounded. In the next moment, another black light burst out from his body. P.S. Readers, I'm the shepherd boy Ting Zhu. I recommend a free app that supports downloading, listening to books, 0 advertisements, and multiple reading modes. Chapter 2796. Another black ray of light shot out from Long Xian's body. R-A-N-A-C-O-M. Another scorpion tail. Long Xian's secret technique was somewhat similar to the ice chains. It could not only use one scorpion tail. In the previous sect grand competition, Long Xian had only used one scorpion tail to end the battle. No one knew that Long Xian could use a second scorpion tail. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. Fortunately, Lu Ming also held back. He did not use all of the ice chains. Ice chains, go. Lu Ming waved his hand and 3 more ice chains flew out. After a few consecutive collisions, they successfully blocked Long Xian's scorpion tail. You've actually cultivated all 6 ice chains to the greater success stage. This time, even Long Xian himself was shocked. That's enough. Let's continue. Lu Ming waved his hand again. 9 ice chains appeared on his body and flew out, wrapping around Long Xian. 9. Long Xian's pupils shrank and he growled. His body emitted a black light and another scorpion tail flew out from his body. 3 scorpion tails. Long Xian had actually cultivated 3 scorpion tails. The 3 scorpion tails and the 9 ice chains kept colliding. Clang, clang. Dense collisions sounded. In an instant, the two had exchanged more than 100 blows. So powerful. Both of them are monsters. Long Xian is a monster, but Lu Ming is even more of a monster. Lu Ming and Long Xian had used all of their trump cards, which really shocked the spectators. Even the inner elders could not stay calm. On the fighting ring, the two figures kept flashing and colliding, fighting fiercely. Those with weaker cultivation could no longer see the two figures clearly. Not long after, the two of them exchanged a few hundred blows before separating and standing on opposite sides of the fighting ring. Who won? Everyone was curious and looked at the two carefully. Look, Long Xian's aura is weaker. His body is covered with a layer of frost. Someone exclaimed. Everyone looked over and saw that Long Xian's body was covered with a layer of frost. Even his hair and eyebrows were covered with a layer of frost. I've lost. At this moment, Long Xian spoke and actually took the initiative to admit defeat. He looked at the 9 dancing ice chains behind Lu Ming, revealing a deep sense of dread. Especially one of the ice chains emitted a shocking cold air. After continuous collisions, he felt that the blood in his body was about to freeze. He had to divert a large amount of divine power to resist the cold air. If the battle continued, he would definitely not be Lu Ming's match. What? Long Xian admitted defeat. Lu Ming won. Long Xian's admission of defeat caused an uproar. This result was really out of everyone's expectations. Previously, many people looked down on Lu Ming. They felt that Lu Ming, a third-level true god, would be crushed anytime. But now, even Long Xian, who was ranked 6th on the true god list, was not Lu Ming's opponent. Was Lu Ming still human? If you cultivate the 4th scorpion tail, I will definitely not be your opponent. Lu Ming also said politely. Long Xian's strength was really shocking. Lu Ming had already done his best, but he still did not have a big advantage. He still relied on the terrifying cold air in the 9th ice chain to suppress Long Xian a little. If the other party had a 4th scorpion tail, Lu Ming would probably not be his opponent. This battle made Lu Ming understand that he could not underestimate the heroes of the world. In the primitive universe, there were all kinds of divine skills and all kinds of terrifying secret techniques. It was normal for some extremely powerful freaks to be born. A loss is a loss. Moreover, it's easier said than done to cultivate the 4th scorpion tail. I accept my loss wholeheartedly. Long Xian was an upright person. After cupping his fists, his figure moved and left the battle stage. Is there anyone else who wants to fight? Lu Ming scanned the surroundings again, but no one responded to him. What a joke. Even Long Xian had been defeated. Who else in the true god realm could fight with Lu Ming? They would definitely lose if they went up. Is there anyone else who wants to fight? Long Jushan opened his mouth and asked. Still, no one answered. All right, since no one wants to fight, according to the previous agreement, Lu Ming is officially the saint. Long Jushan announced. The great sky saint, Fuxiko, and the others' faces were extremely gloomy. This was especially so for the great sky saint Sun and the floating light saint Sun. They had truly suffered a double loss. They had each lost a genius and suffered heavy losses. H, this is just the beginning. It's not that easy to secure the position of saint. The great sky saint snorted in his heart. Congratulations, 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 Saint Lu Ming. Seeing that Long Jushan had made the announcement, some of the inner sect elders cupped their fists and congratulated Lu Ming. Of course, there were also some inner sect elders who remained silent, such as Ying Kang's master. Seniors, you're too polite. Lu Ming could only cup his fists in response. In fact, he didn't care about the title of saint. However, Long Jushan had forced it on him, and Long Jushan had placed the nether dragon blood curse in his body, so he could only obey. Alright, this matter ends here. The competition is officially over. Long Jushan turned to leave after making the announcement. Before he left, he glanced at Lu Ming. Lu Ming could clearly see that Long Zushan's eyes were filled with anticipation and a terrifying malevolence. What is this old man planning? Lu Ming frowned. After Long Jushan left, the inner sect elders also left. Lu Ming, no, Saint Lu Ming, congratulations, congratulations. Yu Linglong immediately went up to congratulate him. Brother Lu, congratulations. Wu Zifeng also cupped his fists to congratulate him. You guys don't have to congratulate me. I don't want to be the saint. Lu Ming said helplessly. When the other disciples heard this, they were envious and wanted to trample on Lu Ming. He didn't want to be the saint, and they didn't even have the chance. It was too infuriating. Hehe, it's too early to be happy now. A cold voice sounded as the Tianhong saint walked over with his men. Tianhong, what do you want? Ouyang Qingxiang also came over with her men to confront the Tianhong saint. Don't worry, I won't do anything. The Tianhong saint glanced at Ouyang Qingxiang, then looked at Lu Ming and said, to become a saint, you have to form your own faction and expand the strength of your faction. Only then can you participate in the competition for the position of sect leader. At this point, the Tianhong saint looked around and said, I, Tianhong, hereby declare that whoever joins Lu Ming's faction will be my enemy. It was a threat, a blatant threat. The Tianhong saint was threatening everyone. Whoever joined Lu Ming's faction would be his enemy. The consequences of becoming the Tianhong saint's enemy were obvious. Tianhong, don't you think it's too despicable for you to do this? Ouyang Qingxiang said coldly. P.S. Readers, I'm the shepherd boy Ting Zhu. I recommend a free app that supports downloading, listening to books, zero ads, and multiple reading modes. Chapter 2797. What do you mean by despicable? In this world, only the winner takes all. How can I be despicable? The Tianhong saint sneered. E-N-R-A-N-E-N-A. That's right. Tianhong's opinion is also my opinion. At this moment, another voice was heard. Fuck Siko also stepped forward. Her voice reverberated throughout the entire area. I, Fu Guang, also declare that whoever joins Lu Ming's faction will be my enemy. 2 successive saints had spoken, and the entire area quietened down. Originally, some neutral people who had not joined any faction were already tempted to join Lu Ming's faction when they saw how talented Lu Ming was. But now, they were all hesitating. If they joined Lu Ming's faction, they would have to face the revenge of Fuck Siko and the Tianhong saint. Could they bear this risk? Many people shook their heads secretly and gave up on the idea of joining Lu Ming's faction. Lu Ming's cultivation was still too weak. Although he was invincible in the true god realm, a true god could not be compared to a heaven god. Even if a true god was invincible, he would not be able to defeat a heaven god. Not to mention top geniuses like the Tianhong saint and Fuck Siko. I, Ji Xia, also have the same opinion. I, Shuetan, also have the same opinion. Then, the Saint Ji Xia and the Holy Lady Shuetan stepped forward one after another and expressed the same opinion as the Tianhong saint and Fuck Siko. Lu Ming's talent was too strong, and they felt great pressure. They could not let Lu Ming grow. The best way was to suppress Lu Ming before he grew. Without the support of others, no matter how strong Lu Ming's cultivation was, it would be difficult for him to become the sect leader of the Kongxian school. After 4 saints and holy ladies expressed their opinions, those who wanted to join Lu Ming's faction extinguished the thought in their hearts. These guys. Lu Ming glanced at the Tianhong saint, Fuck Siko, and the others with a cold glint in his eyes. Although he did not care about the position of the son of saint and did not want to be the headmaster of the Kongxian school in the future, he did not want to be the headmaster of Kongxian school. However, it was not Lu Ming's style to not resist being bullied like this. Now, if there is anyone who wants to join my faction, I, Lu Ming, swear that I will treat you with sincerity and entrust you with important tasks. Now, if you want to join my faction, feel free to sign up. Lu Ming's voice resounded throughout the entire area. Many people were tempted. If they joined Lu Ming now, they would definitely be put in an important position by Lu Ming and be entrusted with important tasks. Moreover, if Lu Ming developed, those who joined now would definitely become his confidants. However, if he were to join now, he would be going against the great Sky Hong Sage and the others. That was simply courting death. In the end, many people shook their heads and dismissed the idea. Lu Ming, I'll join your faction. A crisp voice rang out. Yu Linglong walked out and glared fiercely at the great Sky Hong sage, Fuxiko, and the others. The great Sky Hong sage, Fuxiko, and the others' faces darkened slightly. However, they knew that Yu Linglong's background was not to be underestimated. Naturally, they would not say anything. I'll join too. Wu Zifeng also ran over to join in the fun. However, other than the two of them, no one else stepped forward. Hihi, the great Sky Hong sage was about to sneer and mock, but he was interrupted just as he started laughing. I'll join, a deep voice rang out. Anhai walked out of the crowd and flew towards Lu Ming. The great Sky Hong sage sneer was stuck in his throat. His face was extremely ugly as he glanced coldly at Anhai. Anhai's expression changed when the great Sky Hong sage's gaze swept over him. He felt immense pressure, but he still gritted his teeth and came before Lu Ming. Boss, I want to join your faction. Okay. Lu Ming nodded. He approved of Anhai's big stature. Who is this lad? He is so daring to join Lu Ming's faction. He must be tired of living. Someone muttered softly. The great Sky Hong sage, Fuxiko, Saint Sun Ji Xia, and Saint Lady Shuatan had just said that joining Lu Ming's faction was going against them. They had just finished speaking when Anhai jumped out and joined Lu Ming's faction. This was simply slapping their faces in public. If this was not courting death, then what was? Liu Zhong, Zhao Feng, what are you two standing there for? Hurry up and join boss's faction. Anhai glanced at Liu Zhong and Zhao Feng. Liu Zhong and Zhao Feng's faces were as white as snow. Hesitation and struggle appeared in their eyes. In the end, the two gritted their teeth and walked out. We are willing to join Lu Ming's faction. We hope that Saint Sun Lu Ming will agree. Back then, they had all sworn on their life origins to join Lu Ming. Now, they could only bite the bullet. Okay, I agree to let you join. Lu Ming nodded. The great Sky Hong sage, Fuxiko, and the others' expressions became even colder. Their eyes were filled with killing intent as they scanned Anhai and the others. Anhai and the others broke out in cold sweat. Good, good. The three of you are very good. The great Sky Hong sage glanced at Anhai and the others. He then waved his sleeves and strode away. Fuxiko, Saint Sun Ji Xia, Sacred Lady Shuatan, and the others did not say anything. They also turned and left. In the end, apart from Anhai, Liu Zhong, and Zhao Feng, no one else joined Lu Ming's faction. However, Lu Ming was not in a hurry. No one wanted to join now, but that did not mean that no one would join in the future. It was not certain who would have the last laugh. Let's go. Lu Ming did not stay. He turned and left. Anhai and the others followed. The Kongxian school competition had ended. Lu Ming's name had spread throughout the Kongxian school and even to the other sects. On the way, Lu Ming gave Anhai, Liu Zhong, and Zhao Feng some resources so that they could cultivate properly. Lu Ming would not mistreat anyone who could join him in public under the pressure of the great Sky Hong sage. Lu Ming then returned to his residence and cultivated in peace. Is this little guy going to evolve? 2 days after returning, Chocho changed. It flew out of Lu Ming's wrist and landed in the courtyard, turning into a metal ball. Lu Ming could feel that there was a terrifying aura dormant within, as if it would erupt at any time. Bzzz, arcs of electricity appeared on the surface of Chocho. Ever since Chocho bit off a piece of bronze from the Bronze Gate a few years ago on the ancient god planet, it had been in a deep slumber, seemingly digesting that piece of bronze. Only now did it change. Lu Ming was looking forward to it. The Bronze Gate that appeared on the ancient god planet definitely had a shocking origin. Even many god kings could not break it open. Lu Ming was not sure what kind of change would happen after Chocho bit off the bronze and digested it. Someone's coming. At this moment, Lu Ming's eyes flashed, and he walked out of the courtyard. A figure landed in front of Lu Ming. It was an elder with white hair and a white beard. Greetings, elder. Lu Ming cupped his fists. He could tell from the elder's attire that he was an inner elder. Saint Lu Ming, you're too polite. The elder did not dare to slight him and hurriedly returned the greeting. Therefore, the few old men had a deep impression of Lu Ming. Seniors, this time, I'm here to collect a saint-grade divine technique. Lu Ming said with a smile. What? Receive a saint-grade divine art? The few old men widened their eyes in disbelief. Little guy, this is not a joke. It's not that easy to receive a saint-grade divine art. One of the old men said with a smile. In order to receive a complete saint-grade divine art, one either had to be promoted to a holy prince, or have extremely high talent, character, loyalty, and so on. Only then could one receive a complete saint-grade divine art. Lu Ming's cultivation was only at the 3rd level of the true God realm. It was impossible for him to be a holy prince. This point was ruled out by them. Could it be that he was recognized by the sect's upper echelons and came here to receive a saint-grade divine art? The few old men thought in their hearts. Yes, I've just been promoted to a holy prince. This is my holy prince token. Lu Ming took out his holy prince token and handed it to the few old men. Oh, I see. What? Holy prince. The few old men did not react at first, but when they came to their senses, they almost jumped up from their seats. Lu Ming was actually a newly promoted holy prince. A 3rd-level true God realm cultivator had actually become a holy prince. This was beyond their expectations. One of the old men took the holy prince token from Lu Ming's hand and checked it. He found that there was no mistake. This little guy is really strange. In the end, the few old men came to a conclusion. Since you're a holy prince, you can naturally receive a complete saint-grade divine art. Which one do you want? I remember that you exchanged for the 1st level of the ultimate chill divine art. You want the ultimate chill divine art, right? One of the old men took a deep breath to calm himself down and smiled. In his opinion, since Lu Ming had already exchanged for the 1st level of the ultimate chill divine art, then this time, he would definitely exchange for the complete ultimate chill divine art. Otherwise, wouldn't he have wasted his 50,000 points last time? He speculated that Lu Ming was most likely confident that he would become a holy prince and obtain the complete divine art. That was why he exchanged for the 1st level in advance and cultivated for a period of time. Senior, I want the ultimate mystery divine art. Lu Ming said. Kongxian School had a few saint-grade divine arts, and the ultimate mystery divine art was one of them. What? You want the ultimate mystery divine art? The few old men were stunned again. Lu Ming had exchanged for the 1st level of the ultimate chill divine art. Why did he exchange for the ultimate mystery divine art now? Little guy, I remember that you exchanged for the 1st level of the ultimate chill divine art. Why did you exchange for the ultimate mystery divine art now? You have to think carefully. One of the old men reminded him kindly. Senior, I've already thought about it. Lu Ming said. All right then, wait for a moment. I'll be back soon. One of the old men finished speaking and stepped into the scripture pavilion. Not long after, the old man took out a scroll and handed it to Lu Ming. Little guy, the complete ultimate mystery divine art is recorded in this scroll. Take it, but I have to remind you that without the approval of the sect, you can't spread it out privately. Do you understand? The old man said. I understand. Thank you, senior. Lu Ming bowed and took the scroll. His heart was burning with passion. He immediately bid farewell to the few old men and returned to his residence. I'm old. I really can't understand young people nowadays. The few old men sighed again and again. They felt that they couldn't see through Lu Ming at all. A young man seemed somewhat unfathomable in their eyes. Lu Ming returned to his residence. Qiu was still evolving. Lu Ming sat on the ground and took out the ultimate mystery divine art to read carefully. Lu Ming didn't need the complete ultimate mystery divine art. He only needed the 1st level. As long as he cultivated the 1st level, he would be able to condense a ultimate mystery divine flame. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. During this month, Lu Ming cultivated the ultimate mystery divine art wholeheartedly. He finally cultivated the 1st level and successfully cultivated a strand of ultimate mystery divine force. After cultivating a strand of ultimate mystery divine force, Lu Ming switched to the universe myriad Dao technique. As time passed, The strand of ultimate mystery divine force grew stronger and stronger. Another few months passed in a flash. Suddenly, a light spot appeared in Lu Ming's dantian. All of the ultimate mystery divine force gathered towards this light spot. This light spot became more and more dazzling. Chapter 2799. In Lu Ming's dantian, a light spot became brighter and brighter. In the end, a flame appeared. The divine mysterious fire was successfully condensed. In Lu Ming's dantian, the sixth divine fire appeared. Of course, this divine fire had just been condensed and was still very weak. If he wanted to increase it to the same size as the other divine fires, he would need a period of diligent cultivation. This was not something that could be rushed. At this point, Lu Ming stopped cultivating. He began to cultivate the divine skill, the apocalyptic 3 strikes. Because after a series of battles, Lu Ming felt that the apocalyptic 3 strikes was about to break through. Lu Ming took out a long spear and began to cultivate in the courtyard. Swoosh, swoosh. The long spear danced like a real dragon swimming in the courtyard. However, the power was completely condensed into the long spear and did not leak out at all. Sky-piercing, moon-slashing, Lu Ming performed the first and second moves of the 3 strikes of annihilation over and over again, taking turns to perform them. Gradually, Lu Ming's comprehension of the 3 strikes of annihilation reached a peak. A few days later, swoosh, Lu Ming shook the long spear and the spear streaked across the sky. A crescent-shaped spear light flew into the sky and disappeared. I broke through. Lu Ming's eyes were extremely bright. Lu Ming finally broke through to the 5th level of the apocalyptic 3 strikes. After breaking through to the 5th level, whether it was the first move, sky-piercing, or the second move, moon-slashing, their power had increased by a level. Lu Ming was only a level 3 true god. It was absolutely amazing that he could cultivate the divine skill to the 5th level at this cultivation level. Ru's cultivation level had been stuck in the true god realm for countless years, but he had only cultivated the divine skill to the peak of the 4th level. Those who were not talented enough could only cultivate the divine skill to the 4th level in the true god realm. Only a few extremely talented individuals would be able to reach a higher level. For example, Longxian had cultivated the divine skill to the 5th level. Now, if I go all out, I might be able to defeat Longxian. Lu Ming revealed a confident smile. Suddenly, Lu Ming's expression changed as he looked in Qiuqiu's direction. At this moment, Qiuqiu was emitting a powerful aura. This aura was extremely shocking. Luckily, the residences of the inner disciples were protected by a formation that could isolate the aura. Otherwise, the aura would definitely have alerted the others. This aura is so shocking. Qiuqiu is breaking through to the 2nd layer of True God Realm, no, the 3rd layer of True God Realm. Sensing Qiuqiu's aura, Lu Ming was delighted at first, but in the end, he was shocked and his eyes widened. That was because Qiuqiu's aura was rising too quickly. This guy is really confident. Lu Ming curled his lips and then circulated his divine power with all his might. The 6 divine fires in his dantian burned fiercely. Although the mysterious divine fire had just been formed, it still had some effect on Lu Ming's divine power. At the same time, Lu Ming activated the battle character formula and tripled his combat strength. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. Come on. Lu Ming stared at Qiuqiu. Swoosh. Qiuqiu's round body rushed towards Lu Ming. One of its arms rapidly changed into a big hammer and smashed towards Lu Ming. Rumble. The hammer smashed out and a violent explosion sounded in the air. What a strong power. As soon as Qiuqiu attacked, Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. He did not dare to be careless. Sky pisser. Lu Ming stabbed out with his spear. Boom. A spear light collided with Qiuqiu's hammer and a violent explosion sounded. Buzz. Lu Ming's long spear vibrated crazily. Lu Ming's body shook violently and flew out like a cannonball, crashing into the wall of the courtyard. Runes appeared on the walls of the courtyard, blocking Lu Ming's path. It was fortunate that the courtyard was protected by a large formation. Otherwise, the courtyard would have been destroyed by the explosion just now. Amazing, amazing. Lu Ming felt his arm aching. The web between his thumb and forefinger was cracked and blood flowed out. After a collision, Lu Ming was completely at a disadvantage. The power of Qiuqiu's move was extremely terrifying. It was definitely not weaker than Long Xian's all-out attack. Qiuqiu is only at the 8th level True God realm, but its power is so strong. Its power is probably comparable to that of a genius who controls divine-grade divine power. Lu Ming thought. Chapter 2800. In the past, Qiuqiu's strength was comparable to a prodigy with divine power. But now, it was even stronger. It was probably comparable to a prodigy with divine power. How is it? Amazing, right? Qiuqiu's proud voice rang out. Interesting. Let's try again. Lu Ming revealed a strong fighting spirit. He kept activating the battle formula, wanting to quadruple his fighting strength. Come, let me tell you. My strength is not limited to this. Qiuqiu waved its two arms, as proud as it could be. Boom. After dozens of activations, Lu Ming finally activated quadruple his fighting strength. Third strike of extinction, moon slashing. This time, Lu Ming really exerted his full strength and used the moon slashing move. With Lu Ming's current strength, he could probably suppress Long Xian if he used this move with his full strength. It was shockingly powerful. Whoosh! A crescent-shaped spear light slashed towards Qiuqiu. Here I come! Qiuqiu shouted and retracted its arms. Its round body spun rapidly and smashed towards Lu Ming. Clang! Another terrifying collision. The crescent-shaped spear light collided with Qiuqiu's body. At the moment of collision, the crescent-shaped spear light shook violently and then shattered. Then, Qiuqiu's body slammed into Lu Ming's spear. Lu Ming's spear shook violently. He felt a terrifying force surging towards him. It was as if he was hit by a planet. Lu Ming's body flew out again and crashed into the wall of the courtyard. Puff! This time, Lu Ming spat out a mouthful of blood. He felt as if all the bones in his body were about to break. Lu Ming, are you all right? Qiuqiu asked with concern. I'm fine. This is just a small injury. What's the big deal? Lu Ming braced himself. How could he embarrass himself in front of Qiuqiu? Qiuqiu, is this all your strength? You're really powerful. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Qiuqiu's strength was probably close to the heavenly god realm. It was truly astonishing. Even if he attacked with all his strength, he was still no match for it. Of course not, I still have a power that I haven't used yet. Qiuqiu said proudly. With that, a sizzling sound came from its body as strands of lightning appeared. It's this kind of lightning. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. This lightning was exactly the same as the lightning on the bronze door, except that it was much thinner. Lu Ming, do you want to try the power of my lightning? Qiuqiu said as it blinked its large eyes. There was a hint of malice in its eyes. I'll give it a try then. Come on. Lu Ming was very confident in his own defense. With a thought, 9 ice chains flew out and wrapped around him. Then, 9 layers of golden red armor appeared on his body. Fully armed. Are you sure you're ready? Qiuqiu asked softly. Of course, cut the crap. Come, you can't hurt me. Lu Ming had a confident look on his face. Sizzle, bolts of lightning emerged from Qiuqiu's body and gathered into a bolt of lightning that was as thick as an arm. It charged at Lu Ming at an astonishing speed. In the next instant, the lightning struck Lu Ming. Then, a charred man with messy hair and smoking body appeared in the courtyard. Lu Ming, are you all right? You were the one who wanted to try it. Qiuqiu said fearfully. I'm fine. How could anything happen to me? Lu Ming said through gritted teeth. He had never imagined that Qiuqiu's lightning would be so powerful. His ice shackles and crimson golden armor couldn't withstand it at all. They collapsed in an instant. The terrifying lightning directly burned his entire body black. Qiuqiu had probably shown mercy at the critical moment. Otherwise, he would have been in an even worse state. Amazing, amazing. Lu Ming immediately became excited. The power of Qiuqiu's lightning was completely on par with that of a celestial god. Some of the weaker celestial gods probably weren't even this strong. The stronger Chocho was, the happier Lu Ming was. Lu Ming immediately took a divine pill to recover from his injuries. He then washed himself and changed into a new set of clothes. Lu Ming, are you there? At this moment, Yu Linglong's voice came from outside. She sounded rather worried. Chocho turned into a bracelet and wrapped it around Lu Ming's wrist. Lu Ming walked out of the courtyard. Lady Yu, what happened? Lu Ming asked. Lu Ming, it's bad. Anhai, Liu Chang, and Zhao Feng have been beaten up, heavily injured. Yu Linglong said. Beaten up? Lu Ming's brow creased, a cold light flashing through his eyes. Who did it? Lu Ming asked. I don't know yet. I came to find you as soon as I heard the news. Zifeng went to see them first. Yu Linglong said. Let's go. Lu Ming stepped into the air and flew toward the residence of Anhai's group. Very soon, Lu Ming and Yu Linglong arrived at Anhai's residence. When they pushed the door open and entered, they could smell the stench of blood. Anhai, Liu Chang, and Zhao Feng were all present, but they were in very wretched states. Liu Chang and Zhao Feng were limp on the ground, their faces ghastly pale and their auras weak. Lu Ming could tell at a glance that all their bones had been broken. The most wretched was Anhai. Half of his body had been blasted apart, blood flowing everywhere. One could even see his organs. At this moment, Wu Zifeng was treating Anhai's wounds. Boss. At the sight of Lu Ming, Anhai struggled to bow to him. Don't move. Focus on healing. Lu Ming hurriedly stopped him, his eyes flashing with cold killing intent. The person who had done this was extremely vicious. If it weren't for the fact that they were in the Kongxian school and didn't dare to violate the rules of the school, Anhai and the others would probably already be dead. Even so, Anhai and the others had probably suffered quite a bit. Chapter 2801. Liu Feiyun, his from the Tenho Siko faction. Liu Chang said. It's really the Tenho Siko faction. Lu Ming's eyes flashed coldly and his killing intent was as sharp as a knife. He had already guessed that the culprit was either the Tenho Siko faction, Fuck Siko faction, Holy Prince Ji Xia, or Holy Princess Xuatan. It must be one of them. You're courting death, Lu Ming said coldly. Boss, don't be rash. Liu Feiyun is a first-level heavenly god and is a capable subordinate of the Great Hong Saint. He's extremely powerful and Long Xian can't be compared to him. Anhai quickly said. First-level heavenly god? So what? Tell me his address. Lu Ming said in a commanding tone. The Tenho Siko faction had supreme talents who had reached the heavenly god realm, but none of them had saint-grade divine force. Being in the heavenly god realm and in control of saint-grade divine force, he could even become a saint himself. Only the Paragon Saint would have such a character. Lu Ming had Chocho's help and he might be able to defeat a first-level heavenly god with king-grade divine force. He must get revenge for this. Otherwise, as a holy prince, he would become a joke in the Kongxian school and no one would dare to join his faction. Anhai, Liu Chang, and the others did not dare to disobey Lu Ming and they obediently told him Liu Feiyun's address. Rest well. I'll get revenge for this. After saying that, Lu Ming turned around and left. Lu Ming, wait a minute. Don't be rash. I'm afraid this is the other party's ploy. They deliberately injured Anhai and the rest to provoke you into taking action. Once you take action, they will be justified in dealing with you. Yu Linglong quickly said. Don't worry. Lu Ming waved his hand and flew out. He could guess the other party's intention, but they had underestimated his strength. Oh no, I have to inform my cousin. Zifeng, come with me, Yu Linglong said and then rushed to Ouyang Qingxiang's residence with Wu Zifeng. In a luxurious garden in the inner area, a group of people were drinking and chatting happily. The leader of the group was Liu Feiyun. Ha ha ha, it's so satisfying to have beaten up Lu Ming's subordinates this time. Indeed, those idiots are really daring. The Holy Prince said that those who join Lu Ming's faction would be going against the Holy Princes. Those guys didn't give the Holy Prince's face and joined Lu's. They are really courting death. They are just a few reckless dogs. Seeing that Lu Ming has some talent, they want to cozy up to him. However, They don't know that Lu Ming can fight with the saint. He can't even protect himself. Some of the young men laughed as they drank. I wonder how Lu Ming will deal with it this time, someone said. He only has two options. The first option is to swallow his anger. However, if he does that, his reputation will be completely tarnished. His subordinates have been so badly abused by others, yet he still swallows his anger. In the future, no one will join Lu Ming's faction. He will no longer be able to compete with the saint. The second option is that he comes to me for revenge. That's good. I'll give him a good beating and break all his bones. I'll make him kneel in front of me like a dog. Liu Feiyun sneered. That was their plan. No matter what Lu Ming did, he would fall into their trap. What a brilliant plan. The Holy Prince's plan is really brilliant. Lu Ming still wants to fight with the Holy Prince. He's really courting death. The other young men immediately began to flatter him. Liu Feiyun, get out here. At that moment, a loud roar came from outside. The entire courtyard seemed to shake. Liu Feiyun and the others were slightly stunned. Is that Lu Ming's voice? Someone was bewildered. Yes, that's Lu Ming's voice. I didn't expect that kid to really dare to come. Good, good. Liu Feiyun's eyes flashed with coldness and excitement. He got up and strode outside. The other young people followed. When they walked out of the courtyard, they saw Lu Ming standing alone in the void. His whole body was emitting a cold light. You're Liu Feiyun? Lu Ming's gaze fell on Liu Feiyun immediately. Among the people present, only Liu Feiyun gave him an unfathomable feeling. Yes, I'm Liu Feiyun. Lu Ming, why are you looking for me? Do you want to lower your head and apologize to the Holy Prince? Ha ha ha. Liu Feiyun laughed. The other young people also laughed with disdain. Today, I'll break your bones and make you kowtow to my subordinates and apologize. Lu Ming said coldly. Liu Feiyun and the others stopped laughing. They then stared at Lu Ming as if they were looking at an idiot. Break Liu Feiyun's bones and make him kowtow to his subordinates and apologize. Where did Lu Ming get his confidence from? Is that so? Why don't you try? Liu Feiyun's eyes flickered with excitement. He was waiting for Lu Ming to make his move. Bang! A powerful aura burst out from Lu Ming's body. A strong pressure lingered above the area. He's about to make his move. Meanwhile, many figures had appeared around the area and were observing the battle from afar. This area was originally the area where inner sect disciples gathered. Lu Ming's loud roar earlier had already alarmed the inner sect disciples in the vicinity. Lu Ming is looking for Liu Feiyun and said he's going to break his bones. Is he out of his mind? He's out of his mind. Liu Feiyun is a level 1 heavenly god and a capable subordinate of the Tianhong saint. This Lu Ming is too arrogant. Who cares? There's a good show to watch. It'll be fun if a saint is tortured. The surrounding people discussed among themselves. Many of them were waiting to watch a good show. Bang! Lu Ming did not waste any more time and made his move. He used his full strength. During the conversation just now, Lu Ming had already started to trigger the battle formula. He only made his move when he successfully triggered the quadruple combat power. A huge spear light pressed down on Liu Feiyun and the others like a mountain. This power, beside Liu Feiyun, the other youths all revealed looks of shock. Even the several peak true divinity existences were trembling with fear. They simply couldn't block this move. Only Liu Feiyun remained calm. You want to fight me with such strength? Ignorant. With one hand behind his back, Liu Feiyun stretched out his other hand and blasted out a palm strike. A palm print flew out and hit the spear light. Bang! The spear light shook violently and shattered. The terrifying palm force charged toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's body shook violently and he retreated madly. He only came to a stop after retreating for 100 miles. Is this the strength of a heavenly god? It's amazing. Lu Ming squinted his eyes. Liu Feiyun did not use his full strength just now. However, the power was much stronger than Long Xian, who was ranked 6th on the True God ranking. There was a huge gap between the Heavenly God realm and the True God realm. Chapter 2802. You dare to fight me with this little bit of strength? Be suppressed. Liu Fei-yun said coldly. His body flashed and he charged towards Lu Ming. He pressed down with one hand and a huge palm was formed, pressing down on Lu Ming. Third apocalyptic strike, moon slashing. Lu Ming roared. His divine power surged as he executed the third apocalyptic strike, moon slashing. A crescent-shaped spear light slashed towards the palm print. At the same time, 9 ice chains flew out from Lu Ming's body and rushed towards the palm print. Boom! There was an earth-shattering explosion that shook the mountains and the earth. Lu Ming's body was once again pushed back 100 miles and he spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. However, Lu Ming managed to block Liu Fei-yun's palm print. Moreover, Lu Ming's divine body was extremely strong. His ancient god heart flowed with streams of blood energy and Lu Ming's injuries were completely healed in an instant. So powerful. All around, the spectators all revealed looks of amazement. Today, regardless of the result, Lu Ming's combat strength was shocking. He was able to block Liu Fei-yun's attacks consecutively. Liu Fei-yun's face turned gloomy. Although he did not use his full strength, he was still a heavenly god after all. He felt ashamed that he could not suppress Lu Ming even after attacking consecutively. He was about to continue attacking, but Lu Ming beat him to it. Now, it's my turn. Lu Ming shouted and executed the 9 Heavens Garuda technique. In a flash, he appeared above Liu Fei-yun's head and slashed down with his long spear. It was still the moon slashing. At the same time, 9 ice shackles flew down and wrapped around Liu Fei-yun. Insignificant skill, Liu Fei-yun said coldly and threw out another palm print. Although he had only used one palm, he had already unleashed more than 90% of his divine power. He wanted to completely suppress Lu Ming with this palm. Ball. At this moment, Lu Ming's mind moved. Ball flew out and turned into a huge metal ball that flew towards Liu Fei-yun. Boom! Lu Ming's attack and Chocho's attack hit Liu Fei-yun's palm at the same time. Boom! An even more terrifying vibration erupted. Liu Fei-yun's palm shook violently and cracks appeared on it. How is this possible? Liu Fei-yun's eyes involuntarily widened, revealing a look of disbelief. He had never imagined that Lu Ming would be able to break through his attack. Boom! Following that, Liu Fei-yun's palm print directly collapsed, and Lu Ming's long spear swept out. Liu Fei-yun hastily retreated, but he was already a step too late. Blood splattered everywhere. Liu Fei-yun's body was cut open by the spear light, and the wound was so deep that his bones could be seen. Boom! Liu Fei-yun erupted with all his might. His divine power swept out like a tidal wave, blocking Lu Ming and Chocho's follow-up attacks. Liu Fei-yun is actually injured. The surrounding onlookers were stunned. Anger. Liu Fei-yun himself was furious. His entire body was filled with terrifying killing intent. His eyes were incomparably ferocious as he stared at Lu Ming. He was a dignified heavenly god expert, but he was actually injured by Lu Ming, a third-layer true god. This was simply a humiliation to him. He wished he could tear Lu Ming into pieces. Good, very good. Lu Ming, today, I will make you beg for death, Liu Fei-yun said ferociously. The aura on his body became even more terrifying. A pair of divine tool gloves appeared on his hands. Swoosh! Liu Fei-yun turned into a bolt of lightning and charged towards Lu Ming. His hands continuously struck out, and several huge palm prints blasted towards Lu Ming. The power was much stronger than before. This was Liu Fei-yun's true battle strength. It was absolutely powerful. One had to know that the divine power he controlled was king grade. It was even stronger than those first-layer heavenly gods who controlled ordinary divine power. Lu Ming did not dare to be careless. He activated the 9-layered crimson golden armor and controlled the 9 icy chains. He then executed the Armageddon 3 strikes towards Liu Fei-yun. At the same time, Chocho also spun rapidly, cooperating with Lu Ming to attack Liu Fei-yun. Lu Ming did not let Chocho execute that kind of lightning. It was not the time yet. That kind of lightning could only be used at the crucial moment to have a miraculous effect. Boom! Boom! The two sides clashed once again, resulting in a terrifying explosion. Lu Ming let out a long roar. His long hair fluttered as he exerted all his strength to the maximum. At the same time, Qiu also unleashed his full strength. Even so, Lu Ming and Qiu were still at a disadvantage. The two of them were suppressed and kept retreating. The divine power of a heavenly god was incomparably strong. Every move was filled with explosive power, pressuring Lu Ming to the point of suffocation. If it weren't for Qiu resisting most of the pressure, Lu Ming would have been defeated long ago. In the blink of an eye, the two sides had exchanged more than 10 moves. Catcher. Cracks appeared on the 9-layered crimson gold armor on Lu Ming's body. It was already on the verge of collapsing. As for the ice shackles, they began to emit cracking noises as well. Condense for me. Lu Ming shouted. Endless divine power gushed out from the quantifying character formula. Lu Ming maintained his peak condition all along. The crimson gold armor on his body became dazzling. The 9 ice chains also became solid. What's going on with this kid? Liu Feiyun was secretly alarmed. Logically speaking, Lu Ming was only a 3rd-level true god. In such a high-intensity battle, his divine power should have long been depleted. But until now, Lu Ming maintained several divine techniques at the same time and was still as lively as a dragon or a tiger. He was simply a freak. Burning blood technique. Seeing that the battle was going on for a long time, Liu Feiyun became anxious and directly used his trump card. His body was covered in a layer of fiery red bloodlight, as if his blood was burning. At the same time, his combat strength also suddenly increased by several notches. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming and Qiu were sent flying at the same time, retreating wildly. Especially Lu Ming, who even spurted out a mouthful of blood. Kill! Liu Feiyun roared and charged toward Lu Ming. His palm turned into a claw and grabbed at Lu Ming, as if he wanted to crush Lu Ming's bones. Come on! Lu Ming's eyes revealed a crazed look. He fully operated several divine techniques and secret techniques. His essence, energy, and spirit were highly concentrated. Suddenly, the crimson gold armor on Lu Ming's body became more solid and the light became brighter. Lu Ming was overjoyed. The 9-layered crimson gold armor had broken through to the 5th layer, and its defensive power had increased greatly. This kid, Liu Feiyun, was extremely shocked. Of course, he had noticed Lu Ming's breakthrough. So what if you broke through? You want to block my attack? Dream on. Liu Feiyun increased his speed and attacked Lu Ming. Swoosh. Swoosh. Lu Ming controlled 9 ice chains and entangled toward Liu Feiyun. The ice chains had boundless power to deal with people in the true god realm. But facing the celestial god realm Liu Feiyun, it seemed somewhat inadequate. Under Liu Feiyun's attack, the ice chains crumbled continuously. Moon severing. Lu Ming shouted. The long spear slashed down. A crescent-shaped spear light chopped toward Liu Feiyun. Suppress for me. Liu Feiyun was not afraid at all. His claw grabbed at the spear light directly, bringing along a terrifying force wave. Chapter 2803. While Liu Feiyun was attacking Lu Ming, Qiu was also attacking Liu Feiyun. However, Liu Feiyun ignored Qiu. He already knew Qiu's strength. He used a defensive divine skill that was enough to block Qiu's attack. He wanted to suppress Lu Ming first before dealing with Qiu. Boom! Liu Feiyun's claw grabbed Lu Ming's spear light and shattered it. A terrifying force poured down on Lu Ming. Boom! At the same time, Qiu smashed heavily on Liu Feiyun's body, but it was blocked by his defensive divine skill. Now, Qiu, lightning, Lu Ming shouted with his mind. Buzz buzz buzz, streaks of lightning emerged from Qiu's body and gathered into a bolt of lightning that was as thick as an arm and blasted towards Liu Feiyun. Boom! This bolt of lightning directly pierced through Liu Feiyun's defense and hit his body. Ah! Liu Feiyun screamed and his body trembled violently. The force that was attacking Lu Ming was also reduced by more than half. His claw grabbed Lu Ming's crimson gold armor and sent Lu Ming flying. Even so, Lu Ming was still seriously injured and spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. However, Liu Feiyun was in an even worse state. He didn't have much defense against Qiu. After the previous battle, he already knew Qiu's strength. He never expected that Qiu also had a terrifying lightning. Therefore, Qiu's lightning struck him directly, causing pain as if his body was being torn apart. His body was also numb and he couldn't move for a moment. Qiu, continue. Lu Ming shouted. The strength of a heavenly god was too shocking. Even if Liu Feiyun was hit directly, he probably wouldn't be seriously injured. Now was the best time to completely suppress Liu Feiyun. Buzz buzz buzz, dazzling lightning emerged from Qiu's body again. How dare you? There were cracking sounds coming from Liu Feiyun's body. Feiyun roared no one knew how many bones in his body were broken. Liu Feiyun was severely injured and had no strength to fight back. He used the Garuda technique and rushed towards us. Were dumbfounded. His long spear they did not expect this to be the outcome. Bang! Lu Ming, who was in True God Realm, were merely True God Realm and could not withstand the final result would be Liu Feiyun. They were directly swept flying out by the spear light. I have said that I want you to kneel down and kowtow to my subordinates. With just a single move, to me first. He was severely injured. Lu Ming said coldly. At this moment, he controlled the ice chains to control already shot out and wanted him to kneel down. Head. Liu Feiyun let out a blood-curdling scream. Liu Feiyun his entire body struggled madly, and smoke was coming out of his body. Severely injured. His body had been split open, all the bones in his body and the moment blood flowed out, and he was bound by the ice chains. By the lightning and turned into green free at all. Plop. Lu Ming seized the opportunity in front of Lu Ming and dashed over. Lu Ming, the 9 ice chains appeared again and entangled Liu roared hysterically. The terrifying chill froze and his murderous intent was extremely cold. The ice chains swung Liu Feiyun up. You should have smashed him onto the ground, injured my subordinates. A large pit. Now, go and kowtow to my subordinates and apologize. Lu Ming wanted to bring Liu Feiyun back to Enhai's residence so that Liu Feiyun could kowtow to Enhai and the rest. The others sighed. Lu Ming was really domineering. How dare you? Let him go. At this moment, a loud roar came from afar. At the same time, a terrifying aura spread toward them. Tianhong Saint. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. Hearing the voice, Lu Ming knew that the Tianhong Saint had arrived. Lu Ming moved and landed beside Liu Feiyun. In the next moment, a young man appeared in the sky and looked down at Lu Ming. Who else could it be but the Tianhong Saint? The Tianhong Saint's gaze fell on Liu Feiyun. Seeing Liu Feiyun in such a miserable state, a cold murderous intent flashed in his eyes. Lu Ming, do you know that Liu Feiyun is my subordinate? The Tianhong Saint said coldly with an icy voice. So what if I know? So what if I don't know? Lu Ming sneered. You hurt my men. I will make you pay 10 times the price. The Tianhong Saint said. Before I pay the price, I'm afraid he will be crippled. Lu Ming pointed at Liu Feiyun. Do you think you can use him to threaten me? Naive. The Tianhong Saint sneered. As soon as he finished speaking, his body disappeared from the spot. Oh no, Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. He focused his mind and tried to capture the Tianhong Saint's figure. But at this moment, a terrifying pressure pressed down on Lu Ming. Lu Ming felt as if he had sunk into a swamp. Break for me, Lu Ming roared and unleashed his full strength. A spear radiance shot up into the sky and broke through the surrounding pressure. However, just as Liu Feiyun regained some freedom, his 9 ice chains shook violently and shattered into pieces. Liu Feiyun was swept away by a gust of energy. Then, not far from Lu Ming, the Tianhong Saint appeared. He held Liu Feiyun in his hand. What powerful strength! Lu Ming's heart sank. The Tianhong Saint's strength was above his expectations. Just now, the Tianhong Saint had suddenly taken action and rescued Liu Feiyun from his hands. He did not even have time to react. Unfathomable. Lu Ming felt that the Tianhong Saint's cultivation was at least of the 3rd level of the heavenly god realm. Moreover, the divine power that he controlled was definitely of the sacred grade. It was not something that Liu Feiyun could compare to. With your strength, you still want to fight with me. Today, I will cripple you. The Tianhong Saint was very powerful. Golden divine power jumped around his body and formed a terrifying wave that pressed down on Lu Ming. Bam! 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 Lu Ming retreated continuously. He could not withstand the pressure and retreated more than 10 steps. It was the same for Chocho. Due to the pressure, it retreated continuously and landed on Lu Ming's shoulder. There was a grave expression in its eyes. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.